All right. Hi, everyone, and welcome to Food Allergy Awareness Week. We're so excited to be here today to talk to you about TAG. It's been an amazing week, and so we're so excited to be celebrating with everyone. And here with me today is Brandon. He's also a TAG member, and we're going to be talking to you today and answering all your questions. And so we can introduce ourselves. Brandon, do you want to go first?
Yep. So my name is Brandon, and I'm a high school junior in Arlington, Virginia. And I've been working with TAG for about the last year or so in advocacy projects, and also on the side, kind of volunteering as a EMT, which has been pretty interesting with the food allergy relationship to that. And yeah, so it's been pretty good to work on different awareness projects with TAG. And yep.
That's great. And then I'll introduce myself. So my name is Catherine. I live outside of Cleveland, Ohio, and I'm a senior in high school. I'm going to be attending Tufts University next year. And I've been working with FAIR on their teen advisory group for about the past 4 years now. And it's been such a great experience to work on different projects like Brandon mentioned. And I was leading a project and we're going to be continuing it this summer. And so I'm really looking forward to that. And it's just been a great experience overall.
I think we actually have a few questions ready to go here. I don't know if we want to start with how TAG has helped you kind of in the scope of school and different things like that and projects you worked on.
Yeah, so tag has really helped me be more open with myself and be able to feel more comfortable advocating at school and just within the community, because it's been able to connect me with so many amazing people and really people my age with food allergies, and it's really helped and changed my perspective on allergies.
Yeah, definitely. I think personally within like a club I started at my school, working with TAG concurrently to that club, it's kind of given me a lot of ideas of how I can incorporate different like lobbying and advocacy ideas into projects that we do in the club, as well as talking about that in fair projects as well. So yeah, it's been pretty good for me, and a lot of the students have benefited from information from fair. And yeah, it's been a big important piece of our club that I made in Washington Liberty. So
That's great. Are you leading the club or is it?
I'm leading the club. Yeah, actually tomorrow we have a fundraiser we're doing, and we're gonna be dedicating that to food allergy awareness as well. When we sell something, we'll have a little pamphlet that goes along with that. So hopefully that'll translate into people getting involved with TAG specifically. And yeah, so.
That's awesome. And while we're at it, we should probably explain what TAG is and more about how FAIR connects with TAG. So TAG is FAIR's teen advisory group full of teens from the age of, I believe, what is it, 14 to 22, I'm pretty sure. And you can submit an application to become a TAG member and basically be the voice of the teen food allergy community and be able to work on different advocacy projects through FAIR and do cool opportunities like this.
Yeah, I think it's definitely really neat for all age groups, because not you just get a newsletter too, but aside from that, you can like actively participate in different discussions about events that are coming up. Like, for example, there was one forum earlier in the year before Halloween. People were sharing ideas about how they're like careful with certain situations and holidays, and it's generally a lot of different stuff goes on in those meetings. I think that's been pretty cool. So I would recommend joining to anybody out there.
Definitely. It's a great way to meet people and really connect with everyone at FAIR because it's a wonderful community. It looks like we have a question from a Facebook watcher. So she said, or they said, I have an 11-year-old daughter with severe milk, egg, peanut, and tree nut and nut allergies. She is not as open with her food allergies as we'd like her to be. What advice would you give to her about being open and honest about her food allergies? So I would just say, don't worry about what other people think of you. And for a long time, that was something that I was constantly worried about and constantly trying to base myself off of other people's perspectives on me. But your food allergies should be not as much of a negative in your life, and joining TAG and connecting with all these people and advocating has been a great way to make it a positive and allow us to speak up for ourselves in a good way.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. I also have egg and peanut allergies, and I think mostly my friends will just kind of joke around with me about the food allergy thing, but to be more open about it, just kind of communicating like the severity, or not necessarily taking other people's opinions who don't understand the whole situation around it and what kind of goes into avoiding certain foods. But overall, I would just say make sure you communicate with people who are talking about it to you, and don't feel obligated to act in a certain way, especially in like a restaurant or something like that. It's just not worth it. So yeah.
Definitely. And especially if you're in a food situation, advocating for yourself and speaking up should be the top priority versus worrying about everything else. So just make sure to know that you're taking care of yourself by speaking up.
Yeah, looks like we have another question kind of along similar lines here, but I guess in a bullying situation, again, you kind of want to communicate like the severity of your particular situation. I understand, that probably won't be effective a lot of the time, but you just have to know that, you can't make everybody understand. And, as long as you're being careful with your own situation, I would just say, ignore anyone who tries to undermine your efforts to make your situation safe. So yeah.
Exactly. I've also had some experiences with like friends making jokes that turn into being something that's not a joking matter necessarily. And that kind of in certain situations gets into the bullying category with food allergies. And especially with other students too, if I see them being like, if I see other people talking to them about their food allergies in a negative way, I'd definitely want to discourage that, because everyone's living their life with food allergies and it's hard, and bullying really doesn't help that. So any way to get rid of that is probably good. Can you tell us about your college search and how food service options affected your decision? So I'll be attending Tufts University in the fall, and one of the main things that I looked at when I was applying to college was how flexible were their meal plans and how well was I going to be able to take care of myself and feel safe in an eating environment, and also being away from home, because I live in Ohio and Tufts is in Boston, so it's far away from home and it would probably be a really big adjustment. And so for my school specifically, they have a really great food allergy protocols and everything. They have a top 9 allergy friendly station and a bunch of really great accommodations for people with food allergies. So they're very flexible. And I know their fair has a whole list of colleges that are really flexible with food allergies, and a whole like database search on their website that's really helpful for searching through and reading reviews about different colleges and their food allergy protocols. So I would say that's definitely a huge factor, but there are lots of great resources out there to help you in your search for that.
Yeah, I personally haven't looked at any colleges yet, or I have, but not committed anywhere as a junior. But I can imagine that would kind of play a big role. You don't want to end up paying for something like a meal plan that wouldn't necessarily cater to your own allergies. And it's kind of like a similar situation in the high school cafeteria. Like I usually have to pack my own lunch just because there's not like a way to find out what allergens are in certain foods, and I don't think anybody really has a sense of that in the cafeteria. So yeah, it's kind of a similar situation, but yeah.
Mm-hmm. The next one is there an ideal age to join tag? I would say around like the age of 15 or 16. So like when you're like the start or middle of high school is usually a good time, because you're able to I feel like there are more teens around that age in tag in general. And it's a great way to be able to start with the advocacy as you're like a early high schooler, and then continue it on through high school and college.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely agree that at that time it's important to kind of feel comfortable about your food allergies, and tag is good for that as you get in more independent situations and like restaurants and stuff like that. But honestly, tag has a lot of great forums for different age groups, even at the older end of that. So I would say any age you can have some benefit and be able to participate on some level to advocacy and anything along those lines. But yeah.
Mhm. Definitely.
Let's see.
Another question is, do you always have to carry an EpiPen? And this is covers everyone with food allergies, not just teens.
Yeah, I guess I personally have it in my school nurse offices along with my backpack too. And I have one at home, but I guess it's important. It's kind of hard to keep up with that every year as you have to give a new one. I know you're probably familiar with that process, but exchanging the medication stuff, bringing it in and out is kind of tricky. So yeah, that's what I do personally. But
Yeah, at my school, I go to a boarding school, so the campus has multiple different buildings that I'm walking through each day. So I carry 2 EpiPens on me every day, and then there's also one in the nurse's office and in the cafeteria. So kind of like spread all around the campus. But I never leave the house without it because you never know, and like if you're gonna need it, and it's just always a good thing to know that you have with you just in case. Let's see. The next question, is about my cookbook and why I started it and how it helped others. So, back 4 years ago, coming up next week, I published my allergy-friendly cookbook called "Cook It Up: Delicious Recipes for Healthy Cooking." And in middle school and the start of high school, and still now, but I was really passionate about cooking and creating healthy recipes and specifically allergy-friendly recipes. And so I compiled them into a book to share with the food allergy community to help spread awareness and also create like more of a like reference to allergy friendly recipes. And so that was really what got me into advocating for food allergies in the first place and what connected me with FARE. And yeah, it's been a really wonderful experience.
yeah, that's really cool. I wish I had the cooking ability to do something like that. But yeah, that's cool. I guess the next question here is my experiences. So yeah, I guess with EMT training and stuff, there's a pretty good amount of emphasis on anaphylaxis because that's a pretty common situation with kids getting stung by a bee and just in general, and sometimes like a information gap between like people who are struggling with that situation and the care providers that they don't necessarily like know how to communicate their allergies if they're like a younger child and the person with them is maybe not their parent. So I guess kind of like understanding the immediate symptoms of that is a little bit easier as someone who has food allergies. And yeah, it's been pretty good overall just with the amount of experience I've had in that area translating into the emergency service scenario. But yeah, I think that's kind of the biggest way it's helped me from my experience in the curriculum.
Mhm.
Okay, yeah, I guess I have a question here about the club. So I started a club. Essentially, like the idea is that students are often looking for ways to volunteer and like get involved in their community with college applications and stuff like that. And it's important to do so aside from that. But there was kind of like a difficulty in finding like a common cause that everyone wanted to do. So I just made it open. It's called Students for Health Awareness, and what we do every month, we'll switch to a new, I guess you could say, cause and fundraise for that in some type of way, spread awareness. Last month we emailed local legislators to increase funding for cancer research, and that was pretty successful. We distributed some bracelets and got people to sign off on petitions. But yeah, with fundraising, I would say if you're also in high school and you're looking to do that, just make sure you contact your school and they can probably help you set up something like that, and just reaching out to different organizations and taking that initiative. So yeah, but it's been a pretty good experience overall.
That sounds like a great initiative and a great way to have high schoolers connect with multiple different areas within the community and everything.
Yeah.
Oh, they wanted me to repeat my cookbook name. So it's called Cook It Up: Delicious Recipes for Healthy Cooking. And I happen to have the book here. So this is what it looks like. Um, and you can find it on Amazon right now if you search the name. And my favorite recipe from the book is probably I have a potato fennel soup recipe, which is really, really good and perfect for like a winter night. So that's definitely my favorite.
Yeah, I was actually wondering, do you usually have like an egg substitute or something? Because when I'm like baking, I usually use applesauce, or I don't know if that's one of your allergies or something you're familiar with, but I don't know if there's something better than that because sometimes, it doesn't turn out the way I was hoping for, but
Yeah, so yeah, I'm allergic to dairy, eggs, peanuts, tree nuts, and quinoa and latex. So yeah, that's also been a problem for me. And with baking, usually applesauce or like a tablespoon of water as a substitute for every tablespoon of, or no, for every egg, you do a tablespoon of water as a replacement. But I know they also have like the Just Egg. I don't know if you've heard
yeah,
of that. It's like,
got it.
yeah, I haven't tried it, but I've heard it's really good. And then I think there's also like some sort of powdered egg replacer that you can like mix together, but I haven't tried either of those.
Yeah, I've definitely had the Just Egg. I think they have it at Whole Foods, and that's been pretty good. It's kind of like a new food or a way to get exposure to that without having any allergens. But yeah, it's cool. I guess let's see if we have any more questions in here. So I guess one of the questions is how do you manage anxiety with food allergies? And I know it sometimes can be like overwhelming, like if you're in a fast moving situation where you have to like order and there's, people around you that can be kind of tricky. But one of the important parts of that is, making sure you have like a priority on, it would be a lot better if you like took a few minutes extra and still were safe rather than accidentally eating something that you were allergic to and taking a lot more time than it would have to take that extra initiative. So I guess keeping that in mind can, for me personally, kind of alleviate some of that like anxiety, like, oh, I'm taking too long. Should I really ask this guy if this has an egg in it? But yeah, keeping that in mind kind of helps me at least. But I don't know if you have any experience with that.
Yeah, definitely everything you said, along with, yeah, keeping up communication and just knowing that you asking questions shouldn't be a problem for anyone because you're trying to keep yourself safe. And I've had a lot of experience with anxiety around food allergies and just always having to keep reminding myself like risks, like real risks versus fake risks, because sometimes I get worked up over things that I shouldn't be worked up over, like trying like a new food product that's completely safe or anything. So just realizing the risk of each experience and trying to step back and look at that from a different perspective is helpful. Next question is, how do you manage speaking about your food allergies with a boyfriend or girlfriend? For me personally, I haven't had much experience with this, but I do know that communication is really key and just making them aware of your food allergies and especially the severity because you don't want to have to be around someone who has just eaten your allergen or who will be yeah around you or eating anything that you're allergic to that could put you at risk. And so just making them aware and communicating before you see them is important.
Yeah, I definitely agree. I think that's important to communicate, but honestly, hasn't been too much of a issue for me. Just I guess people I usually hang out with know kind of that I have certain allergies, and I guess that's the way they would be aware of that. And I guess if you're with someone you don't know, taking an extra step to inform them beforehand is a good thing to do. Depending on like how comfortable you would be, the severity of your allergy. I guess it depends, but yeah, overall, I think communication is the big key to that. And I think we have one more in here. Have you found yourself?
And along with the boyfriend and girlfriend thing, real quick, that goes for the same with close friends and everything too. Just making them aware so that they can also look out for you. Like the other day, one of my close friends and I were about to eat something, and she was reading the box before I was reading the box. And so, just having friends that know how to look out for you too is really helpful.
Yeah. So I guess have you had any situations with managing your allergies by yourself rather than your parents, and how's independence changed, I guess, over that time period from the past few years?
Mhm. For me personally, I mean, being in high school in general has been a lot more independence, and especially in a boarding school environment. I live close to home, so I live at home, but it's just been like I've always had to like manage more events and just eating around different people and trying restaurants and everything. So there's been a lot to manage on my own, but I would say that it's been kind of freeing to know that like I can take care of myself with my food allergies and especially like in a restaurant environment and have me be safe after eating there and everything.
Hmm. Yeah, I mean, I guess there was like a certain point, like a few years ago, where I realized like eventually I'm gonna have to be able to deal with this myself as I go into college. And when you kind of start to take initiative, it's important to let your parents know. I guess for me, I kind of wanted to just be able to communicate by myself in like a restaurant and not have them be involved in that. If, unless they like, pointed out something I would forget. But I guess taking steps towards being able to do it or to inform people by yourself is an important skill to have. And practicing that is pretty good with your parents, I think. And yeah, so.
Mhm, definitely. Another question is, what's our favorite part about being in tag? I have two reasons why I really love tag. One is working on the tag projects and getting to collaborate with everyone. That's been a great experience. And I was working on one of my friends' projects called Cooking with Food Allergies, and they recently just put out their allergy-friendly ebook, which Fair has links to, I believe, on their website. But that was a great project to be able to like come together with recipes and be able to share like our experiences with everyone in like a book form. And then also, one of my close friends who I met through Tag happens to live like 15 minutes away from me. So we become really close friends, and that's been really wonderful.
That's pretty cool. I guess personally, kind of tag has given me different ideas for projects that I've kind of tried to translate into other areas and within my school. But aside from that, it's cool to be able to discuss like similar experiences with people because not many people that are your friends, or for me, I don't have other people with food allergies who I know. So it's kind of cool to have some shared experiences and ways to talk about that through tag. And also I wrote a blog for tag on my traveling experience, and I thought that was pretty neat and a good opportunity to be able to do something like that. So yeah, I think it's not it here for the questions. Perfect.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. So thank you everyone for joining us. Thank you, Brandon, and thank you, Fair, for host or managing all of this and allowing us to come and share our experiences with everyone. And also, everyone, just make sure to stick around for their Facebook Live at 7 p.m. And there's a food allergy quiz with some fun prizes, and it'll be a lot of fun. So make sure to check that out too.
Yeah, thank you.